The opening scene begins with angels and descendants of Raphael who land on Earth in an abandoned restaurant. The angels are exiled there for breaking the laws of heaven, but they are unaware of which ones. One of the angels named Raphael blows a kiss, transforming the abandoned gloomy restaurant into a new one. Following this, they run the restaurant with the name Soul Plates, pretending to be normal human beings. In the next scene, we are introduced to a girl named Supia, who is dreaming about a god. But before she can see the guy's face, she is awoken by Mr. Carp, a worker on her grandfather's farm. It is revealed that Supia's grandfather, Mr. Young, owns a farm in Supia's name, from which produce is delivered to restaurants. Back in the Soul Plates restaurant, the angels appear to be concerned because they aren't receiving any orders. A few moments later, a notification appears on their screen, informing them that a lover is about to be dumped in 52 minutes. Just then, Supia arrives in the restaurant to deliver the produce order. One of the angels, Muriel, is smitten by her at first glance. Meanwhile, Raphael notices a locket around Supia's neck and approaches her slowly. Seeing this, Supia wonders if he is the same man from her dream. Raphael spots the locket on her neck and asks where she found it, to which she replies it belongs to her grandfather. This revelation shocks Raphael. The scene then flashes back to when Mr. Young was hospitalized. He writes a message in his diary to Supia, telling her to continue delivering the best quality products to the Soul Plates every week. In the present, Supia introduces herself to everyone but Raphael walks away, ignoring her. As she walks out of the restaurant, Supia wonders why her grandfather is doing business with such a restaurant. She also believes that rich boys run the restaurant just to pass the time. Right then, Raphael approaches her and claims that her thoughts are incorrect. Supia is taken aback and wonders how he read her mind. She then asks Raphael if he is the same man from her dream, but the latter declares they have never met before. As Supia drives back, another couple is making their way to the Soul Plate. The couple doesn't appear to be as happy as they once were. Suddenly, Supia notices an oncoming car that is about to collide with hers. Fortunately, Raphael is pre-alert, so he uses his power to create a portal, enabling both cars to pass without colliding. Following the incident, Supia and the couple are perplexed about what just happened. It is revealed that normal people are unable to see the magical portal waves. A little while later, the couple arrives at the Soul Plate, where an angel named Ariel asks for the invitation card. Here, we learn that no one can enter the Soul Plate without the angel's invitation. The angels invite the people themselves, so that they can use their magic to regenerate love and happiness in the people's lives. The couple takes their seat, and the girl wonders what makes the restaurant so special. Following that, the couple orders the dish that the chef recommends. The angels prepare the dish and put some magic in it before serving it to the couple. When the couple look at the dish, they don't see anything special, but upon having it, they are reminded of the past when the girl used to make the same dish for her husband. They are also reminded of all the happy times they shared in the past. With this, the two apologize to each other and reignite their dormant love. On the farm, Supia asks her grandfather about the Soul Plate, but Mr. Young doesn't reveal anything. Later that evening, Supia receives another order from Soul Plate, which surprises her because the order contains the exact amount of produce that they harvested today. Supia then thinks about her locket, and concludes that wearing it has caused her to stop dreaming about the guy. So she removes it. The next day, she arrives to Soul Plate with the order, but the car stops just in front of the magic portal ways. After passing through the portal, Supia finds herself asleep in the Soul Plate. As soon as she wakes up, the angels bring her favorite dish. Supia asks Mariel if he made the dish, to which he lies and says yes. However, his body starts to itch because of the lock. Shortly after, Raviel approaches Supia and makes her wear a necklace. In the next scene, a woman who doesn't want to care for her hospitalized mother arrives at the Soul Plate. The woman asks about the best dish in the restaurant and then orders it. A few moments later, the angels prepare and serve her the same dish her mother used to make for her. As soon as she eats it, the woman is reminded of the past when her mother looked after her during the birth of her son. While recalling this, the woman has a vision of her mother sitting right in front of her. The mother tells her that she should never cry or be sad in her life. Following the vision, the woman realizes her mistake and apologizes for being a bad daughter. Just then, she receives a phone call from the hospital informing her that her mother has passed away. Initially, the woman doesn't believe it because she was just talking to her mother. She then begins searching the restaurant, but the angels inform her that she has been alone the entire time. Hearing this, the woman realizes that it was her mother's spirit, and as a result, she rushes to the hospital. As soon as she leaves, Mariel decides to eat the leftover dish, while Raviel forbids it, claiming that it was made for only one person. Then, the angels prepare a separate dish for themselves, which Raviel tastes first. A few moments later, Supia arrives at the restaurant and claims to have had the same dream with Raviol in it. She believes she has met him before. Hearing this, Raviol approaches Supia and touches her on the forehead, knocking her out. It is revealed that Raviol's touch erases human memories and turns back time. Later, Supia regains consciousness and finds herself in her car. Back at Soul Plate, an elderly customer arrives and orders the most expensive dish for his guest. An angel informs him that chicken soup is the chef's recommendation. Just then, a young man named Jochen arrives as the elderly man's guest. Seeing him, the elderly man expresses his gratitude because Jochen had donated his kidney to save his daughter's life. Jochen responds that he simply repaid the man's kindness. The elderly man is perplexed, so Jochen recalls a time from the past when he stole a packet of chicken soup for his sick mother. When the storekeeper apprehended him, the elderly man helped him by claiming Jochen as his son and paying for the chicken soup. Jochen thanks the elderly man because his mother wanted to have chicken soup before she died. Furthermore, he mentions that he will soon take his licensing exam and if successful, he will become a doctor. The elderly man is overjoyed to hear this. Jochen invites him to join him for some chicken soup, which he hasn't had since his mother's death. Later, the angels celebrate their final moments on earth because they will soon be heading back to heaven. While enjoying, Ravel visualizes himself in Sufia's dream. In the following scene, we see a schoolgirl named Sajin going to a restaurant to meet her father. Upon reaching there, she also finds her father's girlfriend, who asks Sajin if she will ever be her new mother, to which Sajin says no. She also throws away the food given by the lady, prompting her father to hit her. Upset, Sajin walks away and soon, the father regrets his actions. He attempts to call Sajin, but she does not answer. While walking down the street, Sajin comes across the Soul Plate and walks in. Ariel notices her and asks for the invitation card, but she doesn't have one. Luckily with his magic, Ariel generates an invitation card and invites her to take a seat. He then tells her that he will serve the dish she ordered. Sajin appears perplexed because she hasn't placed any orders. Shortly after, the angels serve her favorite dishes, which taste exactly like her mother used to make for her. Sajin asks Muriel whether he prepared the dish, to which he responds that it was prepared by a special chef. Just then, her father's girlfriend serves her another favorite dish, and Muriel claims to be the special chef. After this, the lady shows her a piece of paper containing her mother's recipes and informs Sajin that her father gave it to her. The lady also reveals that she is no longer with her father and advises her not to be upset with him. Soon after, Sajin's father arrives at the restaurant to pick her up. As her dad's girlfriend is about to leave, Sajin stops her and decides to allow her father's remarriage. Hearing this, her father and his girlfriend embrace her. Meanwhile on the farm, Supia passes out and dreams of Ravia once more. After witnessing this, Mr. Park's daughter takes Supia to her place. The next morning, Mr. Park's daughter awakens to discover that Supia has disappeared. Outside, Supia hallucinates that her grandfather is sitting beside her. Mr. Young reveals that the soul place belongs to the angels who are exiled from heaven. According to Mr. Young, angels come to earth and as a result, they can sense everything just like humans. He also tells her that he himself was an angel before falling in love with Supia's grandmother and deciding to stay on earth. He believed that Supia's parents died as a result of his sins, and that's why Supia is able to see the angels. She has always been able to see Raviol and used to play with him in the past. Lastly, Mr. Young mentions that there are many things that one cannot see with normal eyes. It is then revealed that Supia has been dreaming about Raviol from the beginning, and that they were in love with each other. However, Raviol appears to be cursed to stay away from Supia, and as a result, he always tries to avoid her. This is the reason he erased Supia's memories. Back in the present, the angels are anticipating their final customer, as it is their last day on earth. A few moments later, Supia arrives, and as soon as Raviol sees her, he walks away. This time, Supia runs up to him and hugs him from behind, surprising everyone. Raviol immediately pushes her away and asks what she is doing. Supia responds that he resembles her ex. Suddenly, an invitation card appears in Supia's hand, implying that she is their final customer. Following this, the angels prepare a dish for her, and after tasting it, Supia claims that her ex doesn't miss her. She appears to be pointing it out to Raviol. The next day, we see Supia opening the soul plate, indicating that she looks after the restaurant now. A little while later, she notices that her first customer is none other than Raviol. Seeing him, Supia is optimistic that they can be together one day.